Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed me. Good morning. I'm feeling it. Oh, did you see how I did that little at the end? I'm on one today, y'all. Happy Monday. Welcome to the 13th day of November. That means that Thanksgiving is a week from this Thursday. I know. Talk about a buzzkill, right?
Anyway, I'm kidding. I love the holidays. I'm just saying they just keep coming faster and faster. But I'm ready for this one this year. I'm incorporating a couple vegan additions since we host Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm gonna slip them in. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna slip them in. See, sometimes you got to trick people into what's good for them. Can I get an amen? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Where is it? I'm going to kick them off. There's one. There's an amen to get it started. Welcome to today's installment. It's Monday. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Hey, where are you watching from? Will you drop it in the comments for me, please? I'd love to know where you're hailing from. Hey, I see you over there. So listen. Yeah, officially in holidays. So you all know what that means. Those of you that have been watching, you know, when I come back off hiatus, I'll come back for a new season in January. This year it's January 8th, the comeback day. New set, new everything. And I always talk to you guys leading into the holidays. I get those downloads about the theme, greater than God, Jehovah, Allah, universe, everything that I call it greater than, because it's greater than me. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to get the collective in there. Angel, I'm talking to all y'all. Yes, right. So that's the Bella Purpose, by the way. So anyway, every year, without fail, I get a download about a theme. And let me explain about our guest today. Jordan RENNERT had something that came up unexpectedly and couldn't come today. So, and I know I'm going to go, oh, you can't come. Thanks for telling me. It's nothing like that. I always look at it as a divine moment because divine timing is everything. And it's never about just one thing. So when someone can't make it, it's like, okay, so what's supposed to happen? And I've been itching to talk to you guys about this year's download for the theme that I've been told for me. Now, this is usually when it's for me, it works its way into my work over the next year. And this year, if you look up on the corner, there's a little postage stamp, but here it is again. This year's theme for me was this. I was told that this is my new piece of the puzzle. Count it all joy. Step over the threshold into the unknown, stretch that piece, you know, that so that you can ascend, so that you can find a higher version of your greatest self. All of those things that I believe our souls come to this world thirsty to quench, if you know what I mean. Put an amen in the comment section. So yeah, I was told, Lauren, hey y'all, hey, it's time for you to focus on raising his home, and I could say raising your temple, but I was instructed every time I say it, no matter where I say it and who I say it to, even when I think it like this, say it like this: raising my temple. This is about next year is all about this, or next season, I should say, because who am I to say how long divine time is going to take to get me where I need to go? Can I get an amen? So this one is raising my temple. So here's the thing. I was like, okay, so does that mean immediately I went to everything I found out there. When you Google it, it's all about one of two things. Either physically, of course, eating better, doing things that don't harm your body, right? Because your body is a temple. And then you go and you find a lot about, you hear a lot from a Christianity standpoint, a lot of Bible references and things like that. And I've got a couple short little clips set up to show the juxtaposition here, right? But here's the thing. I know that this is my temple. I know that everything rides inside this temple, like the Ark of the Covenant. All my divine gifts. I need this temple. I have fight or flight because that is the warning system about my temple. Don't go down that alley. Boy, are you crazy? Some don't feel right. Right. Do you know, it makes the hair stand up on your, I ain't going down there. Nope. Some tell me right. So that's because it's protecting our temple. That's intuition, instinct, intuitiveness, insight, all the things that are internal, right? And so, but I couldn't find anything about the third piece, the spiritual piece of when it comes to raising. Think of the Amish people when they raise a barn, because you know I always tell you, greater than God, spirit, source. They work with me. They told me if there was a book about how they work with me, it would be one of those white, yellow, and black books, whatever for dummies, because they break it down so simple. They're not trying to call me out, but they're just saying, Lauren, it's that simple. And I'm grateful for that. I'm serious. So anyway, it kind of concerns me that when I try to find what people are saying or thinking or doing to help raise their temple of spiritualism, their heart pieces, you know, all the things, there's so much woo-woo out there, Reiki and this and energy healing and this and that and meditation and centering. You know, it goes on and on and on. So why couldn't I find anything about the spiritual part of our temple? So I'm really interested from you all, you know, this is an open conversation because I'm learning and hopefully sharing a little from what I do know about what I do currently, but this is uncharted waters for me. Seriously. So I'm going to show you some of the things as I started hearing this thing about raising my tempo back in, I think, August. And if you remember, September 1st, I put down cigarettes. It was, some people knew it was hidden to some, it was just a thing. And it had been going on since 1979. And I tried everything over the years, over the decades. Truly, I had. Well, pretty much everything, you know, patches and gum and and cold turkey, nothing ever worked. And then after this came down, this theme you see in the corner, raising my tempo, I was like, okay. And I was with Sanjeev Chopra, Deepak Chopra's brother, at the event here in Chicago. We were outside, and I just said, I'm done. And I threw it away, and it's been gone ever since. So that was the beginning, right? So that was a physical thing. So I made a move that was a big move for a physical thing that was not serving me. And it's gone to this day, still gone. So I'm grateful. So it's not still gone, it's gone for good. Okay. I'm reinforcing that every chance I get. Seriously. Which now, why is that important? Not just physically, but in the back of my mind, no matter what I would say to myself, I also said to myself, I need to stop this. I need to stop this, or it could kill me. I mean, after all, Lauren, your birth mother died from lung cancer, from smoking. Duh, right? But still, nonetheless, things that do not serve us sometimes are like tight vines. They're there for a reason. You know, they're not a joke. That's why we can never take them as jokes. The longer they sit around unattended in our worlds, these things that do not serve us, in this case, in my case, it was smoking, the longer we give them to trick us into serving them. And that's exactly what I did. For decades, I served them. I served smoking. It didn't serve me. I served it. It was like I was the slave and it was the master. Let's just be real about it. Right. And the thing was, again, I wasn't addicted to the cigarettes, just like I was never addicted to drugs. I was addicted to the misuse, the abuse, if you will, of the gift, the spiritual, the divine gift of invitation. You know, you just heard me say about those other things about they're all internal, intuition, instinct, insight, on and on. And the only way something can get in there and mess up the GPS system is through my invitation, through our invitation. And so it's really important. So now this thing about raising my tempo. Okay, so I've been doing the physical thing for a while. I go back and forth. You know, I mean, I have about 25 pounds I could ditch right now. Seriously. And I'm working on that. But I'm okay with it. I feel good about how I do that, how I process that, and how I'm consistent with that. But then, okay, so then there's the nutrition part, doing better with that too. And, you know, even if you just like I have a couple things that are vegan, I want to bring into the mix on Thanksgiving, even that one day, just those two little items, it's still something. I'm making an effort to raise my tempo, to do better. All we have to do is find one E and one R every day, you guys, every day. Because when we wake up, think back to all the things you have woken up to and gotten over, got through, got there, you made it. So all of those victories count. They never diminish. That Kool-Aid never gets watered down, if you know what I mean. So, but we forget how strong we are because we forget those private victories, those public victories, all those things that let us know what we are capable of doing and who we are, and why we're here. Okay, just to keep it real. So raising this spiritual tempo, though. So I am going in December. It was almost going to be next weekend, but it just didn't make sense because the flights were just crazy. When you come back or when you travel at all during Thanksgiving week, forget it. They done raised that stuff like 3 times. I was shocked. So I was going to, Sanjeev Chopra invited me to his home. His wife teaches transcendental meditation, and it's like a 4-day thing. And so I was going to go next week, but I can't now because I'm not spending $1,000 to go there. I'm just going to say, because he said I could come anytime. So I reached back in. We're going to do it in December. So I put that in place. I actually, too, here's another little thing, started coaching with one of my coaching clients, but I started coaching in one of his areas of divine gifts, mindfulness, and that's Sean Jones Healing with Sean Jones. I started coaching with him on just learning how to listen and how to be quiet and how to stop talking, and how, because everything I do is attached to talking. And the soul wants to listen as well as be heard. So I'm at that season where I'm going to be learning that. So that's a part, I put that inside that raising of the spiritual part of my temple. Okay. So I'm putting that into place to show that I'm doing my best, or attempting to be a great steward with this task, and to be obedient too. Those things are very important to source, very important to all of us. Principles. We cannot break principles, but we can certainly find ourselves broken against them, if you know what I mean. So all of this ties in together. You tie that in with things like the, the 4 agreements. Always do your best. Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally. On and on and on. All these things start falling into place. So I want to show you something. I found a couple. I mean, I couldn't find much at all about anything other than the Christian view, which is doctrine based, because there's a lot of reference to Bible verses when it comes to the temple. And then diet stuff, diet and exercise, but nothing really spiritually about our temple. I thought there'd be stuff about the chakras and about angels and about angel numbers and all the stuff that people practice as divine gifts. I was looking for, I thought there'd be some kind of a resource guide. There you go. Who wants to put that together? I'm telling you, I couldn't find it. It needs to be there. How, some kind of brochure about, the road to enlightenment, spiritual, raising your spiritual temple. So anyway, what did I find? Let's take a look. It's been so long, like a half hour ago. I can't even really remember what they're about, because I was kind of disappointed. I was like, where is the part I'm looking for? And I could not find it, but I did find this. So let's see if this leads us. We're told to seek and we shall find. So that's what we can do. So let's take a look. This is one we'll read. Oh, it looks like, oh, okay. I guess it's a podcast or something. Okay, let's listen for him.
Access more.
I hope you guys can hear it. Wait, I want to make sure you guys can hear it, because I didn't know it was that. And I want to make sure I checked the sound thing. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. So hold on. Let me try it again. I just want to make sure you guys can hear it. So this is not a video. Just, oh, shoot. Okay, wait. Share screen. Okay. And this one. Also share tab audio. Okay, that's it. Okay, I guess you could. Okay, let's go.
Hey y'all, it's me, Nicole C, and I am super duper excited to be back with you on Love.
I had to join you there.
I know y'all know who that was.
Yeah,
that was my handsome hubby, Stace. He is my guest again today. So, babe, thank you again.
I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you.
This
for
is
real.
fun.
It is.
Yeah,
always fun.
I couldn't wait to get here.
Good. Same here. But look,
I beat you.
You did. I know. Well, is that like?
No, it's not a big accomplishment.
I mean, I'm like, okay, because we all know that's kind of like my
still
challenge,
good to know
my struggle.
that you go, hey, he's on it. He's right here.
I'm gonna try to skip ahead. Oh, I did.
God
which is good.
is so creative in how he makes
Okay, hold
things,
on.
Things I love about you.
And he's just.
And you said, of course.
Sure.
Wasn't coming until he wasn't here. Okay. So I'm just, not excuses, but we do our best. Let's take a look at this other one. Hey, you seek. It doesn't say you're gonna find stuff every time. Here's one. Okay. This is just a little thing too, a little short thing. Is this it?
Do you live an organized life?
Oh yeah. This is Billy Graham. And
hey guys, here's a thing.
Okay.
What about you? Do you live a disciplined life? Do you live an organized life? Have you got your life organized and disciplined to the point that you can say no to those things that you know that are hurting your body? You see, the Bible teaches that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. God doesn't live in a church building. God lives in you. And a group of us called the church, an assembly, make up the church. And we use the building and its facilities to meet in. And so it's a sacred building. It's a holy building, as the temple was in Jesus' day, or the synagogues were considered. But the real temple of God is your body. And yet you harm your body by the way you treat it. What about you?
Okay.
Do you live a disciplined life?
Okay, just that little short piece now from Billy Graham, and I love Billy Graham. I really did when he was alive. I still love him. And even though he was, Christian based, look how many presidents he served under, and he just always has a way to. Lucy, when did you get back there? Well, welcome. Lucy's here. Now we have 2 Lucys on the show. You were named after her, the one on the mug, so she was first. Just letting you know, Lucy. So anyway, in there, he said some really powerful things right off the bat. Billy Graham did about the spiritual thing about your temple. Organized. Is your life organized? Is your life disciplined? And that doesn't mean, duck stepping like you're, a stepper person or a zombie. No, it means literally the opposite, stepping out of the matrix and really being so honest with yourself. You guys have heard me say this before. This is why I have the bell of purpose. That's why I used to, when I was upstairs in the studio up there, I had the wall of purpose with all of those stickers on it, that things that were dreams that manifested. Right? And as they would manifest, I'd take them off the wall and put them in a velvet box because I revere them. So it's all about finding little ways to know yourself better. Okay. So that when you wake up and you're not on the good ship, lollipop, you know what I'm saying? Some days you don't wake up feeling like, tap dancing. So, but nonetheless, our responsibility to easing suffering in this world for that time and space is still our duty. It's our birthright. And so we still have to show up as best we can. And so that's why organized and disciplined is where a lot of, I say this, I know we do it. We have to-do lists. Some people go to worship services. Some people have grounding things, meditation, all these different things. But some of these same people, I'm just going to keep it real. If it doesn't apply to you, don't take it personally. But there are those of us, think about it, that we start in certain things that really matter when we aren't completely honest with ourselves, and always at all times. Things like this can happen. You can see someone on Facebook or some social requesting prayer because they're really going through something. And we'll go, hit the little heart, and ain't even thought about a prayer. Or even said praying, didn't utter a syllable of a prayer. It's not the same thing, but you wanted some. You see what I'm saying? I just have to be, if I'm going to hit the emoji, I'm going to have prayed. It's just like that. It's just like that. There are things that are sacred because I believe in, here's a little thing that might help. I want to put this out there for myself so that I can become better in line with accountability, being an accountability partner to myself. Because, sometimes with the things that we're really bad at, we don't tell nobody. Right? I don't care who it is, husband, wife, mama, daddy. But God knows, source knows, spirit knows, we know. So I do things to help push me to my better self because I want to find one E and one R in every day. And I want to take what's already great to greater, what's already bright to brighter, strong to stronger, nice to nicer, so on and so forth. And so I decided a while back to never just sit in this chair, for instance, and say I'm occupying some decent space. I'm vibing in here. I'm in Imagine Studios, and that's what it is down here. I've named this space. It's right down there. There's a big sign right down on the other side over there. so I can look over the camera and I can see it to remind myself. Just like I have my business card taped. See, there's the front of my business card. See that tape on it? Because it's not facing up where I can look at myself. It's facing up where I can remind myself of the message I've promised, not only myself, but those that I come into contact and say, I want to know you. And I give them my card. I put that there. You see, it's taped. I'm literally telling you what is important. I tape it there to keep it within reach. See, I don't want things like that I don't want to get it twisted. I don't want them to end up in drawers like this one, which is an official, and it's been dubbed such. You've seen me do this before. The junk drawer. Yeah, look at all that. And you see I'm dumping it right back in there because I know I may not know everything that's in there, but everything I put in there because it was valuable enough to need to know where to go when I hoped I knew where it was because I needed it. If that makes sense. I kept all that shit within reach. So if you can do that with a junk drawer, why can't you do it with the things that you know are not junk, that are platinum, that are diamonds, that it's all the things that make you reach those higher levels, those higher diving boards, because you're being a great steward. You're being obedient. You're being consistent. See what I'm saying? Even if you keep a junk drawer, so what? I've always had one. At least I'm consistent. At least I know to have some place where I can have a disorganized mess, but it's mine, and I'm okay with that because we're not perfect, right? So, but not everything can go in the junk drawer. Oftentimes, when I start working with people, for instance, in the coaching space, a lot of coaches, I know because I've sought out coaches, and a lot of them, that's what was part of my vetting process, that why I didn't work with them, because they wanted from the very beginning to point out all the things I didn't have. No, first of all, can we take a look at what I do have? I pride myself on being a decent steward. And so I allow people to do that by saying, go get everything you've gotten, because we find that we do have spiritual junk drawers. We have mental junk drawers, emotional junk drawers. We do, but we also have purposeful space, cabinets, and you know, spaces where we keep things, you know, treasures and little, you know, jewelry boxes. We have those for our emotions, or if we don't, we should. I'll say that much. So again, here's a little tip. Here's a little hack, if you will. Wherever it is you find yourself spending most of your day, like mine is right here. Okay. So I don't want this to just be any old space. So I have already decided to a cellular level that every time I sit my body inside this space, or known as this chair, I am occupying a sacred space. Every time I am in Imagine Studios, I am within a sacred space. When I come out and go in, I acknowledge that I'm entering into a sacred space. I am exiting a sacred space. When it comes to, and why do I do that? Because one day when I look back at these days as, remember the good old days of Bathrobe Moments and this, that, and the other, I want those memories to not just be fond memories. I want them to be divine memories. And so sacred space creates divine memories. And the people I meet here, like you all, every day, Monday through Friday, you're not just friends. Know this. You are blessed friends. And so putting those words there took what was great to greater. It took what was already bright to brighter. It made within each of us what was already strong instantly stronger. And so I just want to give you a couple more things that have come in since about raising the temple, because I Helen Keller my way, y'all. Seriously, I don't hire a bunch of people to make all this stuff happen since 2016. I just keep it real with you guys. Have I done everything right? Absolutely not. But I don't believe in mistakes. I believe that's the universe's way of keeping my shit interesting. But the thing about it is when I'm consistent, I find that my passion is consistent with me, because here I am 8 years later, still doing it. 8 years later, still doing it, even though it took me 40 some years to decide to do it, to believe I could do it, to trust that I could be it. And the moment I truly did, and I was honest enough with myself to say, I will stick to it no matter what. And I said to the Creator, to what is greater than me, here's my plan. When you give me what I need, and I held the plan up and I said, here's exactly what I'm going to do with it. So, organized and disciplined. And I really believe start at the farthest part of the universe, yourself. It should be the closest, but it's usually the last thing we come to. So start there and say to yourself, where am I really not being 100% honest with myself, where I could do better? You know, people always say I don't have enough time. You know how I broke myself of that lie? Well, I was like, okay, we all get the same 24 hours. Every person who ever did anything in history, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, everybody, Oprah, Steve Jobs, whoever. We all get the same 24 hours. So when I say I don't have enough time for something, what I do is I either get up a half hour earlier and go to bed a half hour later, and there I've created another hour for whatever I feel I've neglected, because I am attempting to do my best, be impeccable with my word, and to grow towards my highest self just a little bit more each and every day. So here are a couple little things that started working their way in back in August. Remember when I said raising the tempo? I heard that. So then I said, well, you know, I have these, I have a lot of these. You guys know how people always give you these little journals and things, right? And I have a bunch of them laying around. So I started using them. I started naming them so that when something came that would fit the purpose of this journal, I would have a place for it. Safeguarding, being a great steward again. So I started writing down these just one-liner titles and stuff. And see, they're all yellowed out because I've used them. But look at all these that I have in front that I haven't gotten to yet. See, these are still there to use. And those are the titles to my reels that I do on Facebook. You know, those little 60-second, 90-second reels. It's right. So I realized that even when I don't have the time to do the reels, I have the time to listen for something that will lead to when I make the time to do the reels. Because it's not about not having the time. I just haven't made the time yet. I haven't crafted and carved and shaped my 24-hour plan. That's why I don't have the time, because I left it out. Right? So by doing this, now when I really feel like, because that's the thing about living within your purpose. When you're not doing it, you're going to miss it. You're going to wake up and you're going to try to blame it on any and everything else. So he called me. I heard from my kids. You know, stuff like that. And then finally you're going to come to where, okay, I ain't mad at nobody but me. Right. And then that's to get you back to you. And because if you're not catching all the clues, if you're not being, you got to catch those things. You got to catch those things. Catch those fiery arrows of inspiration. And you want, every time you're reaching for one of those, you move yourself out of the way of a fiery dart. I'm going to say that one more time. See, fiery arrows are inspiration. They're blessings. They are increase. Inspiration, I-N, increase, I-N. Remember that I-N stuff I was telling you earlier? So I invite that into my space. And so when I see the fire, I train myself to look for those arrows of inspiration, that everything that is serving me is shooting across my universe. And every time I move to catch one, I just missed a fiery dart from something that does not intend to serve me, that has been shot at me. So I don't have to. My point in showing you that analogy is this. The more I work towards not wasting energy, ducking, dodging, dipping the fiery arrows that the world and all those things that don't serve me are going to shoot at me because they have no power over me anyway, until I give them power by acknowledging them. If I use that energy to grab the inspiration arrows that are being shot towards me to aid me to do everything for increase, they automatically move me out of the way of anything that is not there to serve me. Then I got this really cool Christian LaCroix. Thank you, Goldie Matthews. This Christian LaCroix one journal that came a couple of months ago. You guys remember, I think I posted it. And I think, now guess what this one is? This is like the Holy Grail for my journey, excuse me, to actually, like a diary, log my journey about the building of this temple, raising my temple. So this is where when I wake up and I understand the inspiration, or I don't, or I have a dream or whatever, if I have a hunch, all day long, I've been thinking about this out of the blue. I put it in there because it's like this. I believe that all of these opportunities to prove to what is greater than us that you're doing your best, right? By catching things. This journal caught those arrows of inspiration that then became titles, that became reels, that made it into hundreds and thousands of people's lives. I see the numbers. So it got there. It got somewhere. That's all. That's my job, is to get it somewhere. Don't live full, die empty. Heard that before? Live full, die empty. That means every time you get something, get it out. Get it out of the warehouses. Get it on the trucks. Ship it out. Ship it out. Ship it out. So then another little thing. When I was at the thing in San Diego, I was not looking forward to vegan diet all 4 days. I thought. But I didn't know they were going to have a top-notch vegan chef, Liz, and she was there, and she was great, and she let you watch, and you could see it. And then when you tasted it, I was like, if I hadn't been told, I wouldn't have known. Actually, and I felt lighter, and it wasn't bloated. My body was like, finally, I could line dance inside because everything in me was doing a line dance. Now, in real life, that's a different story. I step on everybody's feet. I'm just saying. So anyway, but I bought the cookbook. And I was like, okay, my intention was a little bit overachieving at first. I was like, I'm going to do a vegan meal every week. I told Liz the show on Thursdays. I ain't picked today. Ain't happened. But then I thought of Thanksgiving. I was like, ooh, so I'm going to do a salad. You see, these are fake $100 bills, by the way. They're from an event. They're fake. But I use them as place markers, like bookmarks. And then if you got some little thief in your house and you don't know it, you'll see one of these missing. Dum, da, dum, dum. So anyway, I am going to do now for this year, I'll show you. You'll see it come Thanksgiving. This arugula salad thing. See that? Peach and pomegranate. Yeah. Cute, right? Colorful. So I'm going to do that. And I have our pumpkin from Halloween. Wait a minute. And I'm going to do this with it. It's a pumpkin soup. And look, you can use those same pomegranate things in there. Pumpkin and pear soup. Yeah. So they're vegan. So I'm going to slip it in. And so there's another way that I'm being honest with myself. Why you buy the book? Why'd you say you're going to do it every Thursday? I don't have to beat myself up about what I didn't do when I can celebrate in what I am doing. I am a human being. I'm in the process. If that wasn't the way it was supposed to be, I'd have been called a human done. Just saying. And then last but not least, when it comes to my business, when I heard that this book was coming out, because I know the other one, $100 million offers, changed my life. I got on the waiting list for this. I can't tell you how many times I bought books like this. They just as new as the day they were printed. Ain't been cracked, right? I intended. The road to hell, they said, is what do you call it? Paved with good intentions. I could never figure that out until I realized it wasn't the intentions that paved the road to hell. It was the carriers of the intentions. The people, our intentions are like the arrows, right? And we intend to shoot them. We pull it back. We have we have the bow. Our intentions are the arrows, but most of us die with these arrows still pulled back, cocked back, and didn't let them go. Trying to figure out where's a good target. Which target is worthy of this golden arrow of mine? Instead of just letting it fly and knowing that the truth will always find its mark. Just let it fly. Don't let it die in your hand. Live full of these quills, just full. Every time you reach, you get a handful of them. Get a handful of them. Die empty. When you hit the ground, when it's over, I wouldn't want an arrow on me. Not one. Seriously. And I believe it's possible. So those are just some of the ways. Now, why did I show you all those different little components? Here's why. Do I get in this book every day? No, I did when it first got here. I did. And you can see somewhere here, I was highlighting well, somewhere here. I really was. It's in here. Even Brian said, "Oh, I've never seen you so enthralled." And I was, because I was soaking it up, right? And I still go to it. I keep it out where it can go. You see, I didn't put it underneath a bunch of books somewhere. Just like when I'm trying to lose a few pounds, I don't put my protein or my healthy meal, my shake, my meal replacement in the cabinet. I put it on the counter. So when I'm walking by, headed over to them crackers and go, I know you ain't about to go over to them crackers when you see me standing right here. So I keep it where it can talk to me even when I'm not trying to talk to it. Okay. Joy. I find tons of joy in cooking. So why not get out of my comfort zone and try to do things that I'm not proficient in? Stretch, taking the E and the R and putting it into everything. Okay. And being smart in catching the lightning bolts, the arrows, the fiery arrows of inspiration. All of these things that come through. And let me just tell you, I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, because they come through us on our way to the world. But I'll tell you, I'll tell you about the ones that, just when I look at the ones that I've done, just capturing it here and being a great steward, and then you see them crossed off in the dates and stuff. It's a thin line between trust and judgment. The quality of your life is you. This too shall pass. We are only in competition with time. One out, one in. Private victories. Are you celebrating yours? Cultivating the landscape of your life. Collecting the litter. Those are, you might remember some of those. You might recognize some of those. Those were all topics of reels. And then finally, a recap. I used this special one because it was so pretty and it's a collector's thing. In the timing, the divine timing. And this is where I lay my feelings down. You know, am I doing this right? Today I tried to meditate and my ADHD had me thinking of a million things per second. And I don't want to go through the motions with this. I write these things down because every time I've ever done it, the day inevitably came where I got to sit back and go, oh my goodness, look how far I've traveled. Look when I was talking like that. Even when I thought I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't moving the needle at all, I would find these arbitrary journals laying around with just a few lines in each one. But those lines weren't supposed to fill that journal. They were supposed to fill my spirit. And when I found them and read them back to myself, I found another connection to gratitude. And so that is why when you tie it all together, you begin to see how important they are all together. And so be consistent. Writing it down in my masterclass, you'll hear me say that. I say, you know, every time that's in the crafting the contract module. And if you're interested, let me know. I can send you the masterclass if you'd like access to it. But in there, I say, you know, every time I write something down, it feels like a contract. It really does. And I'll tell you that's important because the times that I have felt the most guilty in my journey wasn't because of mistakes or stumbles. It was when I broke those covenants, those contracts I had with myself. You know, a lot of us, you know, didn't want to let mom down, dad down, church down, the world down, whatever the case may be. But none of those even hold a candle to what it feels like when we let ourselves down, when we break those covenants with ourselves. You know, that is why that thing about, I don't believe in them, New Year's resolutions, you know, because that's just a want. I wanted this. I want to lose 20 pounds. And then 2 weeks later, you've gained it because you broke the covenant with yourself. So just remember, need comes with a plan and want is a wish list. And so when you break covenants, it's usually because it was want based. It wasn't need based. All these things are just there because we're talking about today raising my tempo. And I am on this journey. I am finding my way there. And so I'd like to talk with you all and let you know. So maybe, you know, as you watch, if you see any change, you'll know how it's happening, why it's happening, and how I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning and may not know it all the way through. But nonetheless, as long as I've done my best, There it is. And that applies for all of us. So, don't wait until the last week of December to start thinking about the new you of 2024. Can you see that higher diving board? Can you see? If you can't see a higher diving board for yourself, increase the number of people you would desire to ease the suffering of in this world. So if you said, with what you're already doing, I want to help this many people. If you said, I want to help the whole state of Illinois, well, maybe in 2024 you say, I want to help Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Because I'll tell you this, whatever it is that each of us is doing to ease suffering in this world and to be of service and to leave legacy and all the wonderful things that this journey allows us to embrace and grow into, living your life's purpose, is just, it is that thirst that our soul comes to this earth to quench. It really is. And I just, my hope for all of us is that we continue to share with each other. The world is changing at a rapid pace, at an alarming pace. The needle, it seems to be moving only in one direction, but that's not true either. We can't see everything. We don't know everything. And know this, I do know this much at ripe old 61. I know that in my own journey anyway, God, the universe, they work with me on a need to know basis, because that is always based on what they feel is my need to grow basis. So when something needs to, ow, stop, ouch, quit it, ouch, and they just keep hitting me with their elbow, that's not to abuse me. That's to awaken me, to keep stretching, to keep growing, to keep going so that I can keep showing others. And so, don't forget, it's not going to always be stop, right. Life isn't always going to tickle you till you pee on yourself. They're not called growing tickles. They're called growing pains. So just remember, sometimes when it hurts a little, it's so that it can heal a lot. Okay. So I'm going to actually let everybody go a little early today. I have a 2-hour. That's part of my raising the temple too. I have a 2-hour. I get a 1 hour massage per month. A new self-help thing. This started too since August. Today, I'm getting 2 hours. Right? Taking care of the temple. Have a plan. Make a plan. Plan to stick to it. What are you going to do to raise your temple? All layers of it. Excuse me. Your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. Everything you are, everything you have ever been, and everything you could ever become begins and ends. Well, it doesn't end. Excuse me, but it begins here. Keep going. So proud of you all. Thank you so much. Coming up this week, tomorrow, who do we have? Angela. I always want to say Angelie. No, but it's not. It's Angelie Kapoor. She is a leadership coach. Wait till you meet her, and a world traveler. She moves constantly around the globe. Very interesting how she does it. You're going to love that part. And then Jay Mama is here. And on Wednesday, Chad Nedland is here on Thursday. And then Joel Theising is here on Friday. So listen, get out of here. Be the best you can be. I love
your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.